a new way to generate videos faster, and general attention mechanism acceleration for any kind of attention. So this can also be applied to LLMs. Prerequisite for this video is understanding attention mechanism. You can check my video coding DeepSeek v3 from scratch and Llama 4 from scratch. So the main idea is that in attention mechanism there is a lot of computations, but only a few, small percentage of those computations are actually useful and good. So for that small attention that are actually useful and good, we will do full attention there. So n-squared scaling. For majority of the computations that are not so useful but marginally useful, we would do linear attention, so O of n. And then for ones that are not useful at all or have very low usefulness, we would just neglect them. This way we can reduce computation necessary by 20x to calculate the attention by just focusing on the most important parts of the attention mainly. And so end-to-end speed-up for the video generation is 2.2 times over 2.1. And they have the code here on the repository. In video models, these attention calculations can reach up to 30,000 tokens, the sequence length. So there is 900 million attention calculations as it scales quadratically with the sequence length. So there are two ways people deal with this: sparse attention and linear attention. Sparse attention is doing like a percentage of the total, so doing maybe 40 to 80% of these computations. So this still scales quadratically with n, but it's a bit sparse. And linear attention scales linearly. So if you have 30,000 tokens, each token would pay attention to maximum, for example, 2048 previous tokens and no more. So this scales linearly. It's like the sequence length times 2048 or less if the sequence length is less than that. So it's linear scaling. But there are issues. This linear scaling just has too few computations, so it degrades performance. And this sparse attention still scales quadratically, so the computation is not reduced too much. So discovery that authors made is just 8%, top 8% of weights are actually have a lot of structure and information. So they have high rank, what you would say. And the other bottom 92% of weights have very low rank. This is a specific example, but others would have similar low rank. Which means that a lot of the patterns in the matrices are repeated. Maybe some rows are just multiples of other rows. They don't contain any additional information. And so you can approximate these matrices with simpler matrices, or you can approximate this information or show this information with just smaller, simpler matrices with less computation. I'm gonna make a video about matrix rank, everything you need to know, on my school, so join while it's free. I'm gonna make it paid soon. Link in the description of the video. And this also explains why the two methods failed. So sparse attention, it will still keep the high rank information dense matrices, but it will just throw away a lot of the low information matrices, but they are still useful. So throwing away would degrade quality. And then linear attention, the main problem is it's trying to approximate the high rank information dense matrix, but this is not so easy or not even possible in some cases to approximate with smaller matrices, because each row is unique, each row contains information. So linear attention would just ruin these information dense matrices. So the main idea of SLA is to apply sparse attention to these dense matrices with a lot of information, and linear attention for the low information matrices, to combine the best of both worlds. Because sparse attention would keep full attention on the most useful, most information dense matrices, and linear attention will throw away a lot of the useless information, but not all of it. So it would, like sparse attention would actually throw all of this information away. That's all of these matrices. But linear attention will keep the small parts that are actually useful of the matrix. Let me explain these lines a little bit. So you see these diagonal lines that are, so you see that blue means there is less attention paid, and white there is more, and red there is even more attention paid. And this is video. So when you have video, you have frames. And you take a bunch of frames, and then for each frame, you divide into patches the image. So 16 by 16, 16 by 16 pixels, 16 by etc. And what these lines represent is this patch paying attention to the next frame patch at the same location. So it's actually gonna pay more attention to the same patch in the next frame at the same location than to patches around it. That's why we have these diagonal lines that are a bit more red, so they pay more attention. And this shows that the model has learned this fundamental principle of temporal consistency. And then you can also see a bit of squares. And squares are just patches on the same frame attending to each other. All of these squares. So imagine that our diffusion transformer 1 has multiple layers, and each of those attention layers has multiple attention heads. And so this matrix is example of one of those heads calculating attention weights on the sequence of those patches and frames. So this is one example from that one attention head. So if we look, blue colors mean that this patch or token is not paying attention to what the corresponding token, and a lot of them are blue, so it means a lot of the patches are not paying attention to the other patches. For example, if we have like fifth frame, this patch in the bottom is not gonna pay so much attention or any attention to the first frame patch at top. It's not so related. So the point in the paper is we actually don't even need to calculate that. So you'll see that all of this blue color is like useless computations or very low use computations, and the red color is useful. So they showed here the red colors that are useful computations, and they show here the useless computations, and there is a lot of these useless. You see, everything is blue, so a lot of useless, or not useless, but low use computations, or lower use, and high use is very few. Only a bit of red here. So you can imagine this matrix as erasing all of the low use blue attention weights, and this matrix, although it seems like it has only a few lines, those lines are very complex and contain a lot of information, so the rank is very high. It means the matrix contains a lot of information, a lot of unique information that's not so easy to approximate by smaller matrices. And here, if we erase all of the high quality, high attention scores, then the rank of the matrix becomes very low, which means this now new matrix has only a little bit of useful information that cannot be approximated. So most of it can be just approximated with a smaller matrix. So the first step in this process is to have a quick algorithm that will predict or approximate the weights without calculating full attention, so with smaller matrices. So here we just want to see which weights are going to be critical, which are going to be marginal for linear attention, critical use sparse attention, and negligible discard. So they have sparse attention, linear attention, and skip. And they wouldn't even do attention between each token. They would block or group a few tokens. It's just an even faster way to do approximate attention to see which blocks should, or which tokens would pay attention to which tokens. For example, 64 tokens or 128 tokens in a single block, and then you do attention of that block versus different block. And not every token with every token. This is a lot faster. And that's it. They're actually just fine-tuning a classic dense model to use their new attention, and they just need a bit of fine-tuning, and it starts working. In the rest of the paper, they just do math and show algorithms and do ablations, and that's gonna be it for this video. Join my school to become AI researcher. While it's free, I'm gonna make it paid soon. And see you in the next video. Link below.